All right, explain this to me, please.
All right, I will do my best.
Use small words too, because remember, I'm an uneducated Republican.
Thanks for the heads up.
Explain to me how the Republican Party got labeled the party of hate.
Oh, okay. I hope you're sitting down. You see, in 1960s and 70s, Democrats were fighting for civil rights. Then the Southern Democrats of the Democratic Party were not very happy about this. So the Republican Party decides to seize the opportunity and start aligning themselves more with the Southern Democrats. So those Southern Democrats moved to the Republican Party. This is what we call the party shift. So right out of the gate, Republicans have been hateful towards civil rights, and more specifically, black people. So then that's when the Southern Democrats, who are now Republicans, started claiming states' rights again, much like they did for the Civil War. And when that didn't go anywhere, they started passing laws that were tough on crime, but they primarily targeted black people because Republicans think that all black people are criminals. This hate and intolerance that the Republicans had started to build momentum, and more people were joining their cause. So that's when the Republicans decided to redefine the GOP. Then the 80s and Reagan came into play. And then the GOP started aligning themselves more with Christian fundamentalists. Then that's where the hate for the LGBTQ plus community came. So now we have black people, LGBTQ plus. Oh, and let's not forget the hate towards women. They wanted to overturn abortion rights. And this hate was being fueled by religious leaders like Pat Robinson and Jerry Falwell. And they saw with Reagan and his popularity that their party was growing even more. So they knew that hate was working. So they added to the list. And after George Bush Sr. was elected, Iraq attacked Kuwait, so then we attacked Iraq. That's when Republican hate towards Muslims started, but it didn't really get cemented in until 9/11. After 9/11, all of a sudden, Republicans hated immigration. Even those who were Reagan Republicans all of a sudden started wanting to build walls on our borders, even though Reagan was all against walls. He spent his whole life trying to tear down the Berlin Wall and then said in a speech that walls don't work. Also during Bush Jr., many people were trying to pass laws to ban gay marriage, even though it had nothing to fucking do with them. And what was fueling all this hatred? Conservative talk show hosts like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck. They were mocking minorities, calling feminists feminazis. They labeled immigrants as criminals and said that Democrats were the enemies of America. And all of this, from the 60s all the way through Bush, the only thing that the Democrats were hating were Republicans who hate. And because Democrats hated Republicans who hate, centrists were like, oh, they're both the same, they're both awful. What? So then came Obama. That's when the racism went full board and Trumpism started to form. Trump kept doing his toilet tweets about how Obama was a Muslim who wasn't even born here and he had no legitimate right to the presidency. And Trump supporters back then were just as stupid, believing anything that came out of his mouth, even though Obama provided proof that he was a citizen. And the state of Hawaii also provided the proof. Now, to be fair, it is highly likely that Trump didn't know that Hawaii was a state. Then, shortly before Obama's presidency was over, Trump came down the escalator. Then once he was elected, there's new people to hate. Scientists. Christian nationalism started rising, and everything science started becoming demonic or fake news. Fake news didn't exist until Trump.